Hello there and welcome back. Let's continue our Kubernetes journey, and we would like to use an NFS server to provide persistent volume and persistent volume claims to our pods, and we will put together a demonstration which is going to rely on this information. So first things first, we are going to have to enter the CentOS master, the Kate's worker A and Kate's worker B and Kate's worker C, and prepare the machines so that they can use the Linux-based NFS server. How do we do that? So for example, on the master node, we have to remove the local path provisioner, which was initially deployed when our cluster was created. And on the rest of the worker nodes, we will have to install the NFS utils so that they can mount the exports. Good. It takes some time for it to remove it. And we are going to need the IP address of the Kate's master machine. This is going to be it. And we can create our mount on the workers. And we do that by echoing the following command to the etc fs tab. And technically, this will make sure that the export from the Kate's master is mounted. Let's do this with super user so it succeeds. And here and here. And let's do this with super user as well. And after the local provisioner was removed, we can go ahead and create our export volumes for the pods. And then we can use the system CTL after installing the NFS utils to enable the NFS server. Good. Now here we will have to create the exports file, which is basically our way of saying, dear server, please make sure that this folder is exported. And we have the export fs-rav, which is going to export or apply the configuration. And now we can enable the NFS server and the RPC bind services. And the show mount-a localhost is going to show us the mounts. And if everything went well, we can use the mount-a to mount our folder from the remote server. Let's do the daemon reload on the other nodes and use the mount-a, mount-a, and we would have the MNT folder mounted from the remote location. So let's create the MNT and pod, and basically from worker c.txt. And we should be able to use the export volumes pod and see from the master that indeed this was created by the worker C. All right, so now the first thing that we have to create is a folder. Let's call this demo on the master, and we create the persistent volume.yaml. Inside this persistent volume, we are going to create the following definition. So persistent volume NFS data, storage is 10 gigs, the policy is retain, and this is the server and the path for the volume. After this was created, we also have to create the pvc.yaml, and the pvc.yaml is going to be, where is it? pvoc. Hold on. So we have the PVOC. This is the right one. So this is going to be the volume claim. Okay. And after we are done with this, we can use a kubectl get pv and pvc and get pv.yaml. This is the pv NFS data. So kubectl apply -fpv.yaml and pvc.yaml. Good. Now let's verify. So here we have the pv, retain reason, status is bound, which is good. Then the pvc NFS data, which is also bound. So now we can go ahead and create our nginx demo.yaml. And basically, this demo is going to create a deployment for nginx, and then it will basically create the service. We are going to rely on the HTML web app folder to create the content for the individual pods. And let's save it and use the kubectl apply nginx. And we can check the kubectl get pods. Let's watch it. Maybe we use the kubectl events and pod nginx, pulling nginx. It's still, oh, now it's working. So currently the nginx server has the appropriate content, and we can use the get kubectl get pods -ovide, and this IP should allow us to HTTP IP address to get a response from nginx. And technically we can see that this is reachable, and the kubectl get service is going to show us that the curl HTTP returns us the appropriate information. Now let's create on one of the workers, not worker C but worker B, a new index file. So echo h1 welcome to pvc from NFS, and we close the tag, and we want to echo it to the mount pod and index.html. Good. So let's go back to the master, and if you take a look at the nginx deployments content, you can see that there is a web app subfolder which we should be able to reference. So now we use the web app index.html, and there we go. We have the response from the nginx instance, and it's basically providing the response from the index.html, which relies on the NFS server. And the pod is successfully able to use the NFS server, and we are able to do our thingy. So technically, I think that was all I wanted to show you. Yeah, that was pretty much all. See you in the next one.